welcome to Therapy JA. Today, Therapy JA interview series. Today we have Douglas Evelyn. So as I say, each week we interview different therapists, and we hear what it's like in their industry or in their field, how they deal with clients, and we deal with different aspects of mental as well as overall health. So today we have Douglas Evelyn. Douglas Evelyn is a physiotherapist, professional physiotherapist. Dougie, thank you so much for doing this. Please, introduce yourself and tell us, about you and how long you've been doing this.
All right, hi guys. My name is Douglas Evelyn. I've been a physical therapist for the past 8 years. I have a special interest in orthopedic rehab, meaning things to do with the muscles and bones. So for your back pain, neck pain, ankle, whatever body parts it is, yes, I have a keen interest in rehabbing those persons because, persons nowadays are walking around with a lot of pain, and it brings me joy, not just professionally, but overall, to know that you can take away somebody's pain with exercise and different modalities. I also do neuro rehab, so that persons who have had strokes, people who have had a stroke, persons who have had like spinal cord injuries or anything that is neuropathic, meaning affects the nerves. I help to rehab that.
So, all right, Dougie, how long have you been doing this, and what caused you to get into this field? Because at one point you are a physio, you are a trainer. You've done many different things. So, kind of tell me your story.
Okay, so in terms of the journey to becoming a physical therapist, well, when I was in high school, and you have to select your subjects for like CXC and K, I always wanted to be a veterinarian because I always preferred animals to people. But over time, I realized that there's so many people in the world that need help, and I had broken my thumb when I was playing rugby in fifth form, and I needed to do physical therapy to help my thumb get better. But I never really paid it any mind as a career option. It wasn't until when I was a year in pre-applied trying to cross over to the veterinary science, I realized that this isn't my calling, this isn't me. And I had a friend who he was doing physical therapy, and he was showing me like what the course entailed. And I'm like, wow, I just never looked at this as a viable like career option. So I did some more research, and then I transferred to physical therapy. And mind you, when I was pre-applied, I was struggling in pre-applied. And when I transferred to physical therapy, I realized that I was doing much, much better than I was in pre-applied. So I realized that this is definitely my calling. This is definitely my vocation. So yeah.
Okay, so I have to ask, like, are there any misconceptions that people have about a physiotherapist?
Oh yeah, man. Everybody that everybody that sees physical therapy, they think, oh, massage therapist.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you told me the first time, honestly.
I remember even talking to a medical doctor who had gone to high school with me, and we were there talking. This is when I was already a physical therapist for like 3 years, and he's a medical doctor, and he was like, oh, all you are is just a glorified massage therapist. And I was like,
no, that.
Wow. And I said, basically, all you are is just a glorified medicine prescriber. Because at the time, because I was like, that's very offensive because physical therapists let that body up like, oh, we only massage, and we do so much more. When people or people have issues, we have to rehab them or whatever. You cannot massage away a stroke. You can't massage your way to somebody walking again. You can't massage your way to an athlete running at their optimal speed or performing their best. You cannot. Massage is literally one course in one semester in first year of the entire 3-year university medical sciences program. So yeah. So when people come and say, oh, all I do is massage, I'm like, nah. Or, oh, can I get a massage having this pain? can I get a massage? I'm like, no, I need to assess you to see what is causing the pain. If it's a muscular imbalance, if it's a muscle strain, or how do I strengthen this muscle? Because I can massage the muscle and it feels better. Wow. But in about a couple hours or a week or so, it's going to feel painful again because the issue has not been solved. So as a physical therapist, we use evidence-based practice so that we can diagnose what exactly is going on and treat the cause and not the symptoms, because pain is a symptom. So we treat the cause to see what is really going on and help to fix that. And also in terms of rehab, if somebody can't walk, we look at what is causing them not to walk. Is it that they have a neurological condition where the brain isn't telling the muscle or part of the body to move properly? So we help to retrain the brain as well as the rest of the body. So yeah, that's the biggest project.
How would you do that? How would you retrain the brain?
Retrain the brain. So in terms of weight bearing, has a lot to do with it. So for persons who have lost their ability to walk because of a stroke, we do a lot of weight bearing exercise and a lot of going through certain neuropathic patterns. So there are certain patterns that we use PNF that helps to reintegrate the brain into these movements that it has once lost. Because the brain knows how to do it, but because of the stroke or whatever injury or whatever issue, it has temporarily lost that connection. So what we do, we do the movements for the person, and we also use modalities such as electrical therapy to also help to stimulate the nerves so that the brain can electrical therapy. So we use, for pain, we use TENS, and for muscular stimulation, we use it as well. So the electrical therapy stimulates the muscles and nerves so that when it contracts, the brain is like, oh, wait, that muscle is contracting. And then we do audio and visual cues to the patient themselves so that they're like, oh, focus on this muscle. And you feel the muscle contracting. Okay, we're going to try and move it. And even though the movement is very small at first, because neuro rehab is a very long process. So it takes a lot of repetition. Notice the repetition is key. And the thing is, even with repetition, practice makes perfect? No, practice makes permanent. So if you practice the wrong thing, it won't be perfect. But if you practice the right thing, then it makes it perfect and permanent. So we have to go through these patterns over and over again until the person gets it and it sticks.
Wow. Well, yeah, because you already know, my father has had like 4 strokes. So just the process of him, I would take him to physio, and I was very surprised because there was a period where it seemed like, boy, I want to know how I'm going to walk again. I couldn't stand up. And over the period of like 2-3 weeks, they got him to the point where he was using a cane and then was able to walk. You know what I mean? And it was just like, wow. You know what I mean? So we saw that, wow, it is possible. And, it rigorous because, trust me, like, he would do like an hour session and then go back and him just knock out. You know what I mean? Because it take a lot out of him.
Is when you're relearning, it's very difficult. If you're accustomed to doing something, then it requires very little energy. But for you to relearn and to really be doing this over and over and over again, it's very tiring. But at the end of the day, as you said, the results are worth it because people's mobility and their independence is vital. So in order for us to let persons regain that mobility, regain their independence, trust me, it's an amazing thing to see when persons can do what they couldn't do a few months ago, a few years ago, a few weeks ago, and they're able to do it now.
Boy, man. And I'm sure as a physio, you learn patience.
Yeah,
like working with clients.
You need patience to deal with patients.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to ask you, is there any issues as a physiotherapist in Jamaica, are there any drawbacks to being a physiotherapist in Jamaica that you could say advantages in other countries?
Okay, well, in Jamaica, we don't have primary access, meaning that a person cannot come to you just like that. They have to be referred by a doctor. So with that, a lot of times, and with Jamaica, a lot of doctors don't see the importance of physical therapy unless it's like a stroke or something neurological. So for like sprains and things like that, they're like, oh, take these medications, you're good. The only real ones that they will really refer patients to physical therapy very readily are like orthopedic surgeons. And again, orthopedic surgeons are secondary referrals. So persons will go to their GP first, and then the GP will refer them to the orthopedic surgeon when the regular painkillers or whatever their medications that they prescribe aren't effective enough. And then they refer them out to an orthopedic surgeon. And then the orthopedic surgeon tries his modalities or tries his plan of care, and then they'll send them to physio. So a lot of the times, a lot of patients, they miss vital windows in terms of early intervention.
Wow. Okay. And what if it's not? What if you miss it, brother? What if it's, the intervention isn't early?
The thing is, for most conditions, if you miss the early intervention, it will just take a longer period of time to get results. And for some people, especially for like stroke and neurological conditions, it can hinder the person greatly. But as I said, most times for those neurological conditions, more and more we're seeing persons like, oh, you had this issue, you need to go to physical therapy quickly. And also, physical therapy is fairly expensive in terms of going to these sessions 2 times a week, 3 times a week. And with Jamaica's current economy, Jamaica's economy generally, you don't have that large amount of persons that can access or be able to afford physical therapy so frequently. So that is I would say, major issue, because you have persons from poorer demographics that need physical therapy, and the public healthcare system is so bombarded with so many persons that need physio but can't afford it. So they'll get a date every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks for physio, when ideally they should be getting physio twice per week.
Crap. So, because you said something to me that kind of stuck out in terms of, you said people need it. Is it that like you don't have insurance, or like there's no way to get like for it to be insurance can't cover it?
No, man, the thing is, insurance does cover physical therapy, but when you look at it, a lot of the persons in Jamaica, even though they're working or whatever, a lot of them don't have good insurance policies, where their jobs don't come with insurance. So if you have insurance, that's fine. But then a lot of people don't have insurance. So like a lot of them, like, so the social welfare programs like NHF and things like that, they may not cover physical therapy. So you need a more premium insurance packages that would cover that, and a lot of persons have access to that.
Like a surgical or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. So you're saying about expensive. So is it that the economy here isn't that good, and most people don't really have that much expendable income? Is it that affects people's physiotherapy, like in terms of their recovery? Does that lengthen it? Like, how does the finances work?
Because say you can only afford to come to physical therapy once per week, then we have to basically count on how we as physical therapists manage that. Is that we give the person home exercises, and also talk to the family members and caregivers so that they can do the exercises with the patient, so that they can get that addition. Because if you're doing something once per week, there are 6 other days in the week. So you need the caregivers and the family members to help the person do those exercises on those other days.
So what is a standard amount of time?
It varies from condition to condition. So if it is a neurological condition, optimally you'd want a person doing physio every single day. So that is why you have like places like Mona Rehab, or different places that they have live-in persons who come in every single day for physical therapy.
Boy, bro, it's funny
you said that, because that's what we did. We had him in Revamp. You know Revamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had him there for like a month, living. And boy, like it was so good because every day, same say you say, every day, man, them work him.
The thing is, imagine you being a person who can't afford those places or resources, and you need to be doing physical therapy every day, and you can only get it like once a week. You see me? So you can see where the optimal conditions for recovery are greatly affected. You see me?
So if him do it for like so if it, let's say we get it to 3-4 times a week, massive difference or in terms of improvement.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Wow, bro. So like, do you do also like dancers?
Like, 'cause
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, man. Because the thing is, especially in Jamaica, where a lot of persons, Jamaicans like to dance. We love to move, and with more persons taking up that avenue professionally, I have come to realize that dancers are actually athletes because their movements, everything that they have to do is very physical, and they have to have muscular endurance, they have to have the mobility, and they have to perform. So the thing is, if you're a dancer and you're doing the movements haphazardly and you're just like barely moving, it isn't as entertaining versus if you're going all out and you're giving that 100% effort. So by doing all this physical activity, you are prone to injuries. It makes it more easy for you to get injuries. Another thing, because Jamaica is now focusing more on the professional aspect of these things, that more persons are getting actual physical therapy and interest. So like they realize, oh, I'm having an issue in my knee whenever I do this move. Or let me go and see a physical therapist so that I can get sorted out so that performance is going forward will not be affected. Or I'm having this back pain with this move and so forth and so on.
Because I think them not have no insurance, brother. That Jamaican dancers.
The thing is, a lot of them, they don't have insurance in terms of from their dance companies or the upcoming, like, especially like for like the street dancers or like the dancehall dancers, they don't have insurance like that. So what a lot of them do so a lot of them, they dance, but they work full time. So they will use, well, there's a few of them will have that insurance from their actual work to fuel their dancing career as well in terms of recovery. But for those that don't have insurance, a good amount of their earnings can be spent on physical therapy. The ones that are serious and they realize that, hey, if I have a dance show to do, if I have a music video to do, and this music video is paying me X amount, if I cannot dance and do this music video, then I'll miss out on my earnings. So they prioritize spending money on physical therapy in order to keep on getting these jobs and performing to the best of their ability.
Oh wow, bro.
So I have to ask, man, you have a memory of like a success story of you helping someone back to recovery that sticks with you?
Well, one particular one, yeah. As in, I've had a patient who had a stroke, wasn't able to walk, and got them walking. I've had dancers who did surgery on the knee and found it difficult to dance. And then where I was working initially, got them back to being able to dance and choreograph and all these things. So yeah, there are a good amount of those stories, but as I say, once I'm able to get somebody back to their previous level of function, it's a success story for me.
Can you tell me the one? Could you expound on the one about with the stroke?
Oh, well, the one with the stroke, yeah, as in. But the thing is, again, it's all about resources. So they could afford to send their loved one to physical therapy very regularly so that we could do all kinds of things, including aquatic therapy. So when I just left physical therapy school, I worked at a place called Therapy by Terry, who they specialize in aquatic therapy. So doing exercises in the pool helps with taking some of the weight off, but also engaging muscles in different ways. So it does, because if you're not able to walk properly on land, we start them in water at different depths so that different depths allow for different weight bearing principles. So they're floating less at different depths. So we just use that to progress them. And yeah, we found that it's very beneficial for like stroke patients as well.
Wow. So some of them I know that if you put stroke patients in water, that helps the process.
Yeah, because if they are unable to weight bear, you can also do the exercises because water helps to minimize gravity.
Yeah.
So it helps them to start with those really small movements, and you can add resistance by using different devices that they basically manipulate the properties of water to either add resistance or to decrease resistance. So you can use things like the floaters, the tube floaters, using turbulence in the water, like the kick pads and all of those things. So if they have like leg injuries, you can put them on their back, have them kick, weights on their leg, all kind of things. So really challenge the brain in new ways and to get back function.
Bro, I did not know this. How much that cost? Like, what's the cost of that? That just sounds expensive.
The thing is, as in, if you have proper access to a pool, then it's pretty much, it can be the same price as a regular home visit. It's just that because you're using materials that are readily available or can be easily available. So, and the thing is, once persons are determined to make that recovery process easier, they can purchase it. And now with ordering things online, you can order it today and it's here by a week. So ordering different tubes and things like that can help with that. And it's not specialized. Some of them are not specialized. It's just knowing how to be creative. So you can use regular objects to turn them into physical therapy instruments.
Okay. So I have to ask, in terms of, because I realize in what I've understood now in the medical field, just because of what I've been going through with my family these days, and I just realized that a lot of times doctors will have multiple, like they will be based at you, they'll be based at a place, and then they will do a lot of freelances to ensure them and make them money, and that can be like kind of spreading themselves thin. You know what I mean? Is it the same as for you as a physiotherapist, where you have, when I say you're a roast, you know, but where you have one base place and you have to be freelancing and them type of thing there?
Oh no, man. Let me tell you, this is the reality of Jamaica, and everybody have a side hustle now. Like doctors, lawyers, engineers, everybody has a side hustle just to survive. Because if you look at the cost of housing, the cost of living, everything, you legit. Back in the days where parents could just go to their 9 to 5 and they could buy a house, send kids to school, all of these things, and they're fine. Now you go to your 9 to 5 just to afford your house, but you can't afford gas or you can't afford your car. So you need a side hustle to pay for the car. And then if you have kids, you need a side hustle to pay for the kids' education and things like that. So it's rough. So as a physical therapist, we do have to do different things. So back in the day, it could just be, you could do your physical therapy, you go to the private practice, you go to the hospital, and you work from 9 to 5 and you're good. Now you find that you have to be doing a lot of home patients or a lot of like private patients in order to supplement the income, in order to just basically just live a decent life. I'm not talking about being filthy rich. And in order to
have a good enough life and live normal.
Yeah, but the thing is, to be filthy rich as a physical therapist, you would need to be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is the way to just be filthy rich in Jamaica. Because if you're a doctor and you're working for the public sector or working at a private practice, you're not going to be filthy rich. You have to be an entrepreneur. So you have to own a medical practice. You have to own a medical supply business. You have to operate a business as a medical professional or as any kind of professional in order to really make that amount of money. So for physical therapists, our income is greatly dependent on our patient stream. Patient stream. So if you have a good link with a doctor who is referring your patients like crazy, then you will be making money. But guess what? You can see so many patients and no more. So where entrepreneurship comes in is that you would have to employ other therapists to work for you. So you become a business owner in terms of like own your own practice, where even if you enter, you'll see like arbitrary numbers. So you can see 10 patients per day, very low balling that number. But say you can see 10 patients per day, that's just 10 sessions that you can do per day. Versus if you employ other therapists to see patients as well, then you can make money off of each of these persons or each of these units. So yeah, so as I said, the way to make money from many businesses in Jamaica is, but especially physical therapy, is to be an entrepreneur.
Wow.
So and that's kind of your goal. Like you want to kind of like run your own thing and subcontract.
That is the main goal. That is the main goal too, because right now where I am currently working, it is me and two of my friends from physio school who are working together. Versus for me individually, my long-term goal is to singularly own a physical therapy practice where I would oversee other therapists working and also helping to just further physical therapy, develop their skills, after developing my own skills more and things like that.
Okay. You have a proper goal, brother. Is there any aspect of physiotherapy you feel like lacks development out here that you feel like needs to be developed, or? Needs
to be developed? Yes, we actually do need more inpatient rehab centers. As I said, like Revamp and Mona Rehab are like two of the only, I think, the only two first place that have offer full-time inpatient physical therapy. So we need more places like that, more rehab centers for persons.
What about like research projects or collaborations in the physiotherapy?
The thing is with research, especially the persons at UA, even the other day they had the World Physical Therapy Conference in Dubai, and they had three of my colleagues there presenting their research. Well, they're lecturers at UA, and one of them is the past president of the Jamaican Physical Therapy Association, and they were presenting at the World Physical Therapy Conference in Dubai. So that should show you that even for a small island of 3 million people, we are on the world stage in whatever we do, including physical therapy. So we've been doing our research, and yeah, man, we're doing big things out there, man.
Okay, cool. So like, you have any advice for aspiring physiotherapists or people coming into the field?
Yes, I would definitely say make sure that you grasp the fundamentals. Don't look at how boring certain aspects of it may seem, but make sure that you fully develop yourself and all the techniques and all the assessments and all the treatment methods, and think outside of the box. And then at the end of the day, utilize all of those skills to build your brand and also aim towards entrepreneurship. Working for people is rough. So look at developing your own brand. So even if you work for somebody, make sure. When I first started working right out of physical therapy school, my boss at the time told me that, hey, Douglas, make sure that you work on yourself. Even though you work for me, make sure that you build your own brand at the same time. Because at the end of the day, when persons come, they're like, oh, is Douglas available to see me today? Okay, can I see Mr. Evelyn? Like, make sure that, so even when you leave with a good reputation. So if anything, people will be like, oh, yeah, man, I know this great young physio, yeah, man, Mr. Evelyn, yeah, man. And they refer persons to you. So, because if you're lazy when you work for other people, and they're like, oh, you may not necessarily, you can't hurt the brand that you're working at, but you do the most damage to yourself by not giving it 100%.
That's facts, man.
Mm. A
Facts.
lot of person are like, I'm not getting paid for this, so I'm not going to do it. Or they give it, they basically give it haphazard, and they're not doing 100%. But the thing is, at the end of the day, when you give 100%, it's always a great reflection on you, and you can carry that anywhere because you have resumes and you have your CV, but being a great professional and building on your own brand, that can carry you so much further than just working for people and, as I said, not giving it 100%.
Yeah, but I mean that sound like he was a good for him to tell you, take you one side and tell you that. That sound like he was a good employer, brother. Like, you know what I mean, like a mentor type of vibe.
Strange enough, she was and still is a terminal. Yeah. She was a great employer and now a great colleague. Because she always believed in building the profession here in Jamaica and also building her own employees. Because when you have a private practice, even when she's not there, her employees have to carry the name of the business. So if we are not great, then her business will suffer. So it's also for their benefit, the employers' benefit, and the employees' benefit. So, and the thing is, if you go out there into the world, even after you leave there, and you are a horrible physical therapist, then persons will be just have a bad view of physical therapy overall. So in order to raise the standard of the entire profession, you have to make sure that everybody in profession is on the same level and doing what they need to do.
Mm-hmm. So you've always had this passion, and I feel like talking to you, you sound like you have a very good understanding of the body. Like, you know what I mean? That like this is your passion. Because when I met you, you were a trainer. You know what I mean? And you were like, it was like Body by Dougie. You did a help man, improve themselves and thing, and to go into this, which is still in the same field of physio and with the body and things. So you've always had this passion.
Yeah, I've always strongly believed in being better. Like from high school days, it's like, okay, you need to focus on academics, you need to be better. Because I went to Campion, and strangely enough, most people look at me, they're like, you went to Campion? Like, really? I'm like, because I don't fit the normal stereotypical Campion look. But to hear me speak, especially like on topics like this, they're like, oh, or they mean a professional setting, they're like, oh, okay. So
you know your thing, man. You know your thing.
Yeah, so being a champion just motivated me, like, in terms of everything, just to be better at all times. So it basically just started that, hey, no matter what you do it to the best of your ability. So if you're going to be in the sciences, do it to the best of your ability. If you're going to the business, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a carpenter, if you're going to do the arts, whatever you're doing, just try and be better all the time. So when I was at UA, I started working at the gym part-time. And when I was working at the gym, I was trying to be the best trainer I could be. And that was also incorporating what I was learning at in physio school with my patients as well, because you remember with physical therapy, we focus on strengthening the body. Yeah. So you can easily use those principles and apply them to personal training and helping people to reach their goals. So when I was a trainer, even when I left physio school, I was still a personal trainer as well as a physical therapist. So I used to do physical therapy in the day and then be a trainer in the nights. And the two of them just went hand in hand, because you're basically rehabbing somebody, but in terms of one of them is for function and one of them is for their health and for their aesthetics. Because a lot of the times people don't come to the gym for the health, they come to the gym to look better.
Yeah, you mean they might try to look good, carnival or come up, man, they want to get them carnival body.
Exactly. So in order to help persons achieve their goals, you just apply that same discipline and principles that you have learned to that. And it's just a mindset to just have that, hey, everybody to interact with, help them to be better.
Are there any differences in terms of the approach to treatment for certain ailments in physiotherapy in Jamaica than in other countries? Somewhere you can say that we have an advantage, I'd say.
Oh, definitely. With physical therapy in Jamaica, we have to be very resourceful because, as I said, that because in other countries they have better technology in terms of to help people weight bear and all of these things. But being in other countries, it forces you to rely mostly on that technology, what's available. So because they're more technologically advanced, they focus more on different modalities and things like that. Versus in Jamaica, it forces us to be more resourceful. So we will look at things in order like making splints. Overseas, they'll have like 3D printed splints and things like that. In Jamaica, we can take this piece of board, we can get a piece of fabric, Velcro, whatever, and combine them together. And it helps you think out of the box. And so that it makes things more affordable for patients as well. And it helps you as a physical therapist not just look at, oh, I don't have this kind of technology. A patient is going to suffer. Oh, well. No, it forces you to look at them like, okay, this is the problem. How can I fix it given the current circumstances and what I have to work with? And I find that it makes us better in terms of better therapists, in terms of you having to think outside the box to solve problems.
All right, so as I said, this is therapy JA, and a lot of times we try and tie in mental health and that type of stuff. Do you see what advantages or what benefits? Benefit is a better word. What benefits does physiotherapy bring to the overall mental health of your clients?
Okay, I'm glad that you asked that. So, I'm going to tell you, think about it. You are a strong, independent person. You're used to going out there, making money, living your best life, all of these things. Boom. You get hit by a car, you break a limb, you have neurological issues, you have a stroke, all these things. You're no longer that person. That is going to take that's going to have a dramatic effect on your health, on your mental health, because losing that function or range of motion or losing that quality of life plays a major part of our identity as a person. So if you aren't able to do that, you feel like a shell of yourself. So what physical therapy helps to do is that it helps to restore function. So if you had that accident or you had that issue and you lost your job or whatever, and now because of physical therapy, you have not regained the job, it can help treat depression or whatever mental illnesses or mental conditions may arise because of the trauma that you've gone through. Because if you've gone through trauma, it's a life-changing event, even if it's caused by a physical thing. So physical therapy helps to bring back persons to a previous level of function or to make them better. And they can see where they're getting better. Mind you, it's not a smooth process, meaning that especially for neurological conditions where it's slower, persons will get frustrated. And as a part of the physical therapy course, aside from learning about the different systems of the body, learning anatomy and all of those things and physiology, we had to do a course in psychology so we can know how the brain works in terms of people's attitudes to change and things like that. So that was pretty interesting because you have to know the different personality types and how to motivate your patients and how to deal with persons with different conditions as well. So if the person is depressed, then you have to know how to get them to do what they need to do to get better and also feel better about themselves. So you have to just know different techniques of how to motivate them. And then it also brings you joy when you first meet a patient and they're depressed, and for some persons, for some conditions, they're suicidal and things like that. Because of the condition that they're in now, they're like, they just want dead because they don't see themselves getting better from this. And you have to keep on reassuring them and giving them hope. And also being real with them because some of the persons, you won't be able to get them to where they were before. So you have to find a way to let them know that, okay, this is your new normal, or we're going to get you to a new normal. So you won't be able to run a 5K again, but you'll be able to function and you'll be able to move up and down. And or if you're not able to do a 5K in the way that you used to, say you're now in a wheelchair, you can now do a 5K in a wheelchair or whatever way you can participate. So you have to basically have to motivate them and be real with them. You don't want to tell people false hope as well. Like, yeah, when you can walk again, when it's very, very unlikely. And the thing is, you also have to have a balance. So you cannot tell persons that, oh, you will never walk again when there is a chance. You have to be you have to be real, but also hopeful as well. So a dancehall artist had gotten shot the other day.
Riding King. I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about that. Riding King.
Even listen to his music now, it's more in touch with it, like his emotions and feelings, because when you're going through all of this physical therapy, we also have psychologists and psychiatrists that may be a part of the team of the rehab process, because persons go through all these different emotions and things like that. So you have to know how to properly rehab a person's body and their mind.
You think it's possible for him to walk again, by the way?
Yeah, based on what I've seen, because initially when I saw or heard the reports, and I was like, yeah, that he does sound like he'll walk again. But based on where he is now, because he's overseas getting therapy, and again, remember that overseas they have more in-house physical therapy practices. And when I look at what he's doing, we do a lot of the same things out here. Like when he was on the bicycle and they had electrodes attached to his legs. We do that out here as well. The aquatic therapy, where he was in the pool doing the exercises, we do that out here as well. So a lot of the things that I do out there, we do offer out here as well. But yeah, based on how he's doing, he may not be able to again run a 5K, but he will definitely, based on how he is and based on his motivation, you can see where he may be able to walk either with a cane or with a walk or some form of assistive device, or even walk fully by himself. But I do see him making great strides in his recovery.
Well, brother, I tell you,
them thing there is very frightening, you know what I mean? Because he got shot like where? He got shot in his spine?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's possible even after you get a shot like that to be able to walk, or?
Yeah, man. Because the thing is, it also all depends on where exactly the bullet goes and how much damage it does cause. Because initially, like, I'm gonna rehab to see gunshot victims all the time. Because Jamaicans are very, I won't say violent culture, but violent things tend to happen a lot out there. So a lot of times we hear like, oh, shots were fired, 10 people were shot, only one died. And we're like, oh, only one person died? Awesome. But those 9 other people could potentially be 9 persons who can never walk again. So you never ever look at people who are just like, 9 people were shot? Oh, okay, but only one person died? Okay, no problem. No. Persons who get shot can be seriously affected for the rest of their lives as well. But it's very interesting to look at, because persons, as I said, affects their mental health with conditions like that, especially trauma that cause these things.
Yeah. Not real. But brother, I'm glad you bring him up, because I was thinking about him too, because in situations like that where all you do, you see them in a wheelchair. It very much seems impossible, you know, man. Especially when you see them in a wheelchair, you say, Jano, how them can get back, you know, to being able to walk. You know what I mean? And how do you, as a physiotherapist, one, not kill them hope. You know what I mean? Not kill them hope, but also give them a sense of, oh, this is what you might have to get used to. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when I talk to certain doctors, especially with like my dad, and hearing them what them say, I'm like, but this, y'all wonder, boy, is it legit? Like, is it not that big of a deal to have like a couple strokes, and can that person really recover and live a normal life? You know what I mean? Or go back. They're not going to necessarily go back to how things were, but can they live a life and be, have some form of value or add value? You know what I mean?
Yeah, be a contributing member to society. Because a part of that whole rehab process is that, as I say, you have to look at the reality, look at the potential reality, and then look at how you can best look at the best outcome for that person, that patient. Because say you were, and the thing is, luckily enough, nowadays with so many jobs that are sedentary, what you can make money from, it's much easier because say you're a farmer and you have to be out in the fields every single day. Then if you have an issue that affects your mobility in terms of walking, you can't tend to your crops on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can do, you can look at other means of earning in the same agricultural field. So you can look at, if you have your own land, you may not be able to tend to it anymore, but you can get somebody to do it for you, but you can also focus on making connections where you can supply other businesses. Say you just carry your goods to market and sell them. You used to go into the fields, dig up the crops, carry them to market and sell them. Now you can get somebody to go into the fields, tend to your crops, but you can make the connection so you can supply a business or a company or a hotel with said vegetables. So you have better logistics. So you can focus on the logistics rather than manual labor. And that can also help. Yeah.
Anything you want to add, bro?
Please.
Just to say that, I really appreciate what you're doing in terms of this program, in terms of letting people know the different aspects of therapy for mental health, physical health, and all of these things, because in Jamaica, we really needed it. I realized a lot of persons is that they may not be ignorant, but they're ignorant to certain things. So educating them about certain things and various aspects of therapy is very, very beneficial, because if I don't know something and I don't know that I don't know it, that is when I'm actually in trouble. If I don't know something and I have an idea, then at least I can go and get more information. But if I don't know something and I don't know that I don't know it, then it can't really help me. So by providing a forum like this where different therapists can talk to people and address different issues and talk about certain issues, it helps to educate the masses so that they can learn and just progress as our country.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So now we are wrapping up Therapy JA. Dougie, thank you so much for doing this. I just wanted to kind of just like, how can people find you? Just break down like how people can reach out to you, that type of stuff.
Okay, well, I am located at Physioplanet, which is on the Big Now building on the intersection of Hagley Park Road and Maxfield Avenue. Also, you can find me on social media at Body by Dougie JA, also Physioplanet JA, on Instagram and on Instagram. Also, like if you have any questions, just direct all questions there, and you can make an appointment using those mediums as well. I can also Google, just Google Body by Dougie, and you'll come up.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this session. Catch us next week, same time. Peace out.